rightwager.com. All right, NFL Wildcard Weekend is upon us now. It is today, as we shoot this video on Tuesday, December 31st, 2019. Got still a couple more days to go before those Saturday football games kick off, but there are some interesting points that we can certainly bring up and when you want to get into these football games and what primarily to look at when betting in Wildcard Weekend. The one interesting thing of note is you're not really going to get all that bad of weather conditions. So when we take a look at some of these matchups and who wants to throw the ball, who wants to run the football, who's from the south heading north, who's from the west, as we talk about the Seahawks coming east. If we look at the Philadelphia Eagles game on Sunday, clear conditions, 40 to 42 degrees estimated around kickoff. Now, keep in mind, that's a 4:40 start on the East Coast, and weather conditions can change from a couple days out, but anticipated winds under 10 miles an hour, no rain in the forecast, about 40 degrees at kickoff. That's really as good as you're going to get it here in the Northeast. Now, taking a look at another game that's going to be played in the Northeast, those Tennessee Titans are going to be traveling to Foxborough. Looks like they're going to get a chance of some rain in that game, but looking at that Saturday night football game in Foxborough, 50 degrees at kickoff and under 10 miles an hour in winds. That'll be interesting because we've seen games here already in Foxborough this season, rainy, cold, windy conditions like when they lined up against the Dallas Cowboys in that football game and beat them because the conditions hampered an offense in the Dallas Cowboys. That's a top 2 offense in the NFL. Tennessee comes in with a hot offense, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. And as I said, we're going to do more videos as the week goes on, but just an early synopsis of what I think, some early indicators and thoughts in that first game, Buffalo and Houston. Always Houston gets that first game on Saturday, it seems like. But this should be a pretty good tilt. And kudos to both of these coaching staffs and organizations by realizing the Week 17 matchup didn't mean anything. So sit your key players for a de facto bye week as you head into the playoffs. The one interesting thing here is when you look at Buffalo, they fought hard in their game versus the New York Jets. But look, when you're playing guys that will be selling insurance, as we like to joke with, third-string players, you don't really expect that much from already a depleted offense for the Buffalo Bills, at least on the scoring sheet. But now Josh Allen, they're going to be in a dome. It's going to be nice weather conditions, which I don't know if that really helps the Buffalo Bills because they're really built on making plays at the quarterback position, running out of the pocket. You have some pretty good running backs. Frank Gore's a little bit old, but Singletary can certainly handle his own weight and explosive. You do have a couple good wide receivers for Buffalo, but they're more of that team built again for Buffalo. They would probably like to see 35 degrees, windy conditions, try to play really good defense and gut it out. When you flip it over to the Houston Texans side, Deshaun Watson getting the week off. Fantastic move by Bill O'Brien, giving the wide receiver core that's banged up the week off in that football game. They got rolled by the Tennessee Titans, but don't read anything into that because the game really didn't mean anything opposed. If we look at the lines opening up, 3s across the board, but now we're seeing here on New Year's Eve, 2.5s, total of 42, now down to 41.5. Again, weather's not going to be an issue in this game. I think that's a little bit low because I think we're underestimating the capabilities of these quarterbacks to make plays with their legs against some pretty good defenses. As we look at that night game, 143, 144, Tennessee and New England. What's to like about the New England offense at this time? They're banged up at wide receiver. They're inexperienced at wide receiver. They have nothing at tight end. Can't seem to get their offensive line in order in a running game that's really slow and a quarterback that's fading right in front of our eyes. But yet they're still going to be at home in this football game. They're still going to be in Foxborough. And they're going against a team with not a lot of playoff success in the Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill's been sensational. One of the best quarterbacks since he's made starting quarterback over Marcus Mariota about midway through the season. They should be able to score. The question is, can the New England offense keep up? But the Tennessee defense isn't a shutdown defense per se, but looking early indications in the week, the line opens up at 5, now it's down to 4, and I agree with that line movement because nothing says New England blowout in these situations, but you do have to look at New England being home in the playoffs and what an advantage that actually is. New England played their starters last week and lost to the Miami Dolphins. The Tennessee Titans had to go on the road and win a key game to get into the playoffs and play their starters versus the Texans. If we flip it over to Sunday, 145, 146, maybe the best game of the weekend, the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. They're tough to beat at home. There's no question about it. Drew Brees in that dome atmosphere, one of the best home field advantages in the National Football League. But the one thing the Minnesota Vikings did correctly was they took a de facto bye week, rested all their players. You're going to get Thielen healthy. You're going to get Diggs healthy. You're going to get Cook healthy. You're going to get Kirk Cousins a week off to rest up. Same thing with that offensive line and the key components on defense. Keep an eye on Kendricks, the linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings, if he's going to play in this football game. He's questionable at this point, as you saw last time, again, actually 2 weeks ago, versus the Green Bay Packers when he went down with an injury trying to recover a fumble. That's a key component. He's healthy and ready to go. That's going to be a major boon for the Vikings. If we look at the odds, they opened up at 8. They still sit at 8. The over-under has climbed 2 full points, and I agree with that, from 47 to 49. Two dynamic offenses are going to take place, but also you're looking at over a touchdown. And in one of the videos I'm going to put out a little bit later is the tough road that New Orleans has. They had to play all out in Week 17 because there was a chance that they would have been home with a bye. Turns out they didn't get that bye, but still had to use their starters. The Vikings took a bye week. That should play into this football game. And then the last game on Sunday, 147-148, Seattle and Philadelphia. I don't know how the Eagles won the division. I honestly don't. I mean, credit Doug Peterson, credit Carson Wentz for having just an amazing 5-week run and strapping the team to their back. Every single week somebody gets injured. The best right guard in football goes down for the remainder of the season. That's Brandon Brooks. If Lane Johnson does come back this week from a high ankle sprain, how healthy is he going to be? Miles Sanders left with an ankle sprain in the New York Giants game, which leads to the legend of Boston Scott here in Philadelphia. But sooner or later, the talent runs out. I don't think that the Philadelphia Eagles at this point are talented enough to beat the Seattle Seahawks. But having said that, this is the one matchup that the Philadelphia Eagles can try to exploit. To me, outside of the Eagles, the Seahawks are the weakest team in the NFC playoff field, and especially they're not going to be home. They're the 5th seed now in the playoffs. Their road is probably going to be going through each and every other team to try to get to the Super Bowl. I don't think it can be done. Last time they showed up in Philadelphia, we saw, hey, Rashard Penny ran wild. Well, he's not going to be there. Oh, Chris Carson's a beast. He's not going to be there. CJ Prosay's decent back out of the backfield. He's not going to be there anyway. Marshawn Lynch last week, yeah, it was fantastic. He got a touchdown, but ran for like 3 yards a carry. That team is built on the run and doesn't run it all that effectively. Russell Wilson, as I always say, worth his weight in gold, but the defense on the Seattle side isn't very good. They have to go West Coast to East Coast, and if they do win this football game, they got to then fly back and probably going to play the San Francisco 49ers at home, rested and ready. Playoff football in wild card action's a lot of fun. Just wanted to do a quick video here with rightwager.com just to show we're setting it up. And if you do want to join the team today, go to rightwager.com. We've had a very good football season, impressive over the last month. 3-1 in Week 17. We're looking to score big in wild card weekend. Stay tuned for some videos. If you like what we put out, hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. Turn your notifications on. I'm Donnie with rightwager.com. The playoffs are here. rightwager.com.